Sweet, man. What do you want to chat about?
Let's
do it.
Your deep, dark secrets.
I know, right?
Skeletons in the closet. This is Automotive Repair News Today, and I am here with my newfound friend, Travis Troy. You're the head honcho? You're like the big man in charge this week?
I wouldn't say that. I'm one of the co-chairs of Vision High Tech Training and Expo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are at Vision 2025. I've been here once before. First time was 23. So now 2 years later, I'm back. Feels like it was longer than 2 years ago, but I think it was 2 years ago when I was here. I left North Carolina, 65 and sunny. And now I want to go back because it's like 35 and snowy here.
Yeah, you showed up to a blizzard.
Wind. Yes. It was interesting getting here. Flight cancellations twice, and then all the things to get. And it was actually smooth once I got the flight rescheduled, but kind of hectic. So hoping that that doesn't happen on the way back. But
right.
Excited to be at Vision. And so how long have you been doing this for Vision?
This is my second year as Vision co-chair. I've been an attendee for probably 10 years, close to 10 years.
How long has it been here at the conference center?
Way past me.
Really?
It's been going on, I think, since I've been born.
It's a big place.
It is, yes. Sherry knows the deep history, and Jerry knows the deep history. I came in when it was a big event, not when it was, a very, very small event, and it was just a few of them. And it's grown. They've done such a phenomenal job, growing it each and every year. And I have a deep passion for this industry. Every aspect of the industry I love. And, one of the things that I see is there's so many people aging out of this industry. And if us younger people that are passionate about this industry don't do something about it, we're going to lose great events like this. We're going to lose the phenomenal instructors that we have. And there's such a large wealth of knowledge in the younger generation because of the older generation. And I just think we need to get out of our shell a little bit and make things happen. And I'd love to see some younger people start stepping up and really, doing the training, getting outside of your comfort zone, and really trying something different. And that's really kind of why I stepped up. And when I was asked to be Vision co-chair, this is not me. I am not a forward-facing person.
Not a head honcho?
No, I like to be in the background. But it needs it, and our industry needs it. And I took it as a challenge to myself and a challenge to the industry to, do what needs to be done to keep great events like this going.
So you and I just met like an hour ago.
Right, exactly.
I have been in the industry for just over a year, have known Lucas, Changing the Industry podcast, for 5-6 years at this point. So, I've known of the industry, been plugged in.
Yeah.
But I don't know the industry. I'm not a car guy. I've never changed oil. Like, I can start my car and drive, but that's it.
Right.
I'm not a super knowledgeable person when it comes to cars. So here's a question that, I've asked myself and I've asked other people, and I want to hear your perspective because, so you're talking about training, the importance of it, the younger generation getting in. So there's videos online. You can find good training online. People offer that.
Yeah.
And once this is just me, but once you own a shop, you sort of figure things out, your market, get some policies, procedures in, things are on the upward trajectory, and you can find online training. Why go to an event? Sometimes I feel like people probably have those thoughts. I can see myself, if I was an owner, I was starting to figure things out. why go to an event?
Yeah.
And so
it's a really good question, and it's a valid question,
Yeah.
right?
like I'm the kind of person that feels like there's value in face-to-face, there's value in connections with an industry, and so that's definitely a draw. Is that the main draw, or is there something extra to going in person to training rather than online?
There's a lot of different elements to it. That is one very big part. You'll never hear somebody say that they didn't come to an event and not have good networking, right? It gives the opportunity for the vendors that support the events to get face-to-face with their end users or potential end users. And you don't get that online, right? You can send them all the spam mail and everything you want, but when you really get that personal interaction with them, person to person, you hear them out, whether they're frustrated or they want to see an enhancement with something, or they're just looking for a new vendor partner, right? That's what these events can be used for. Those are just a few elements, right? But going back to once you really get your shop going and everything else, honestly, when you think you've got it all figured out is usually when you start going backwards in business. And I've been coming here, like I said, for 10 plus years now. And I opened this company when I was 19 years old. And you go through those phases where like you start doing pretty good and you think you do have it figured out. And then you come back to an event like this and you're like, gosh, there's so much more to learn. And I've sat through the same class 3 times. They're taught differently each time. Maybe they bring a different spin to it each time. Or, like they say, you sit through a class, at best, maybe you retain 20% of it, right? So you could sit through that class 5 times before you really retain all of it. So you think about that and being able to just continue to print that knowledge into yourself and do the networking. That's why I think these events are so powerful. And it go back to the vendors, this real big supporters of the events, and it gives them that opportunity to be able to get face to face with these, potential customers and or current customers.
Does it usually take hitting rock bottom or struggling for shop owners to find that out, or what does it take for them to come?
No, I mean honestly, if you're humble enough, you just know you need it. But sometimes it does take rock bottom. I hope it doesn't, but for some it does. They've got to go through a challenging event, a life-changing event, whether it's in business or personal, that you just go, I need some personal development, I need some professional development, whatever that is, and or as a technician. I mean, we're kind of talking a little bit about owners, but even as a technician, right? You think you've got it all figured out, and then you just have this one car that just kicks your butt and just keeps killing you. You're like, I wish I could get training on this. Well, you come to an event like this, and it's just a plethora of different training that you can get exposed to. And the other thing that's really nice about it is, as a shop or a shop owner, the team building that you can get, the team building aspect that you can get when you come to an event like this. We're not just coming to learn. We're coming to forget about the shop for a little while. We're coming to break bread, have fun, and continue to get to know each other. I mean, we're inside these 4 walls 10 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, depending on however long you're open. And you come to this event and you just don't have to, the walls are different. The conversations are different. And you can kind of cut loose, have fun, and enjoy yourself.
Right. So it is the Vision High Tech Training
and Expo.
And Expo. So like, what does this event or events like this mean for manufacturers, for tool providers, other companies, for them, what does it mean for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you think about tonight, we've got the High Tech Tool Expo, which is all of the new high-tech equipment that's coming out, whether that's scan tools, manufacturing equipment, whatever that might be. They're going to be able to have that on display. Some of it's beta tested equipment. Some of it is out in the marketplace for you to use today. And this is really an opportunity for them to roll that out and get it in front of the people, back to that person-to-person connection, and get some instant feedback and allow technicians and shop owners to get their hands on it.
So you're a shop owner too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you started this when you were 19.
19 years old. I was still in college.
Wow. I feel like there's actually a good bit of, I didn't realize that getting into the industry, there's a good bit of owners that start real young like that.
Yeah.
And I always figured, and I think it probably is the vast majority, the natural progression of, technician, you've been in the shop or you've been in some other business and capacity, and so you own a shop, whatever. But there are more than I expected shop owners who start young 20s.
Yeah.
And that is such an undertaking.
It's,
I mean, you don't even figure out, who you're married to yet, whatever.
I was not.
Here you are
Yeah.
starting a
Right?
repair shop.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It goes back to that. You need to be humbled, right? You think you know it all. You think you can do it. And so you're like, I can do it better. And then you go out and you open your shop. And Marcus Lamona said it best today. The technicians are the most underappreciated in our industry. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. It is, they never get to see the win. They never get to see the smile on the customer's face. They never get the thank you, and so they're just behind the scenes all day long, making transportation possible for so many people. And it just becomes expected. And I agree. It's just not appreciated enough. And I think we need to put a little bit more emphasis on that for sure. And figure out a way as shop owners to really tie that in and give them those wins. Bring the client out and introduce them to the technician before they work. Allow them to come out and thank the technician once the work is completed. All of those things that I think really tie all of that in and really, really creates an exceptional customer experience. And then also gets a feel good for the technician as well.
So this podcast is called Automotive Repair News Today. So the idea is, I cover the news in the industry and get people's perspective on what's happening, why it's important. And it's great because, with me not being in the industry for a long time or having experience as a shop owner or a technician, I come at it as a different perspective. And so I can ask some questions that I think sometimes people think that, that's obvious, or, everybody knows that. So what vision this year, 2025, what's newsworthy, what's happening in the industry that you think is this next 3 days that is going to be helpful for people to know? And what's happening at Vision that people need to know about?
That's a really good question.
Because I think, the industry, like everything, is changing like so fast.
It is.
And coming to training, obviously, I think would help. So what is happening at Vision this week that somebody listening to this podcast is not coming to the show? What did they miss out on?
The first thing is the new technology that the technicians are being trained on at this event. Hi. Started in this industry as a technician. I do not consider myself a technician any longer. The information has way outpaced me. And that is one big part, is just trying to stay up with the technology is absolutely insane. I mean, it's nuts. And not only that, the consumer habits.
No, go.
The consumer habits.
And by the way, if you're listening to the podcast, I'll just put a pin in that thought.
Yeah.
We are recording upstairs at the Expo. And so if you're here and you want to record or get on a podcast, please come do that. You may have just heard something going on in the background. I think these microphones, I just did a test recording a second ago. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And you may not hear that. But if you did, that's what that was. So come and say what's up and get on the podcast. We'd love to have you. But anyway,
right.
That's what's going on
Absolutely.
behind the scenes.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I think another really big change that's happening currently, that it's not currently, but really kind of after COVID world, is the way consumers want to do business. that has changed tremendously. You're seeing a lot more of the 7-day-a-week shops and the different ways to be able to serve the client. And I think really being able to learn that and be able to adapt to the outrageous customer service and really, really tailoring it to the customer. We went a long ways of being able to tell the customer how we do business. That transitioned very fast to the consumer is now telling us how they want us to do business. And if you don't do business the way they want you to do business, they will go somewhere where that can happen.
And next time you say something like that, make sure I have my camera out.
Right.
That was great.
Yeah.
So, when you go to training, something like this, I've heard it said you take notes, but it's an overload of information. There's a lot going on. You can only take so much back and actually apply it to what you do. So you've owned your shop since you were 19. You've been coming to Vision forever. Now you're, what was it again? You're the
co-chair.
Co-chair. You're the co-chair of Vision. So what's a word of advice you would have for somebody who's maybe coming or is here that, hey, take 3 things and do this at your shop, because it is drinking from a fire hose.
100%.
So,
I call it FTI, failure to implement. We all get it. We come to this event, we leave exhausted and fired up at the same exact time.
Right, yes.
And we put our heads back in those same 4 walls and continue to do the same exact thing that we did before we showed up.
What does it take? Like, because I think you can go and try one thing, but then over time, you just revert back. So
100%.
What have you found to be successful in that?
So one thing that we do with our staff that comes is we have a Slack channel. So I would highly recommend, whether it's email, text message thread, whatever your communication thread is, at the end of each class, we ask our team, send us 3 good things that you learned that you would like to either implement, see change in our organization, see change in yourself, right? 3 things at each one. And then we'll talk about it at dinner. And then now we're sharing knowledge.
Right.
You might have one person that sat in that class and they just shared it with everybody at our table. So now that person then is now teaching the rest of our team. And then we go back to our shop and we can really set out a plan of, hey, we're going to take this, we're going to try this. If this works, we're going to then implement this. Once we're done with that, then we move on to the next step. So then you really kind of create a strategic plan when you get back of rolling out maybe a new process, a new system, a new policy, a new way to do business. And you can take that back to your shop and really roll it out.
Yeah.
But you have to have that plan before you come.
Right.
So when you get back, now you're in action and you're out rolling that out. And I think that's really important. And when you do that, the amount of momentum that you can keep up when you get back to your shop is almost, it just makes you unstoppable.
So it's definitely worth it to come to these shows.
I think so, 110%. That's my biased personal opinion. It is very much worth it to, and there's so many great events. I'm really unbiased when it comes to the events as well as coaching companies. I have a coaching company that I work with. I won't name it because I am very unbiased with that. I think there's so many phenomenal coaching companies out there. There's so many phenomenal events out there. And you just have to pick 1, 2, or 3 and go to them and enjoy them and take something back from them, right? And they're all going to have something good for you. You just have to see which one fits best for you, whether that's a coaching company, an event, whatever it is.
Where can people find you this week or online for questions or thoughts, comments about the show?
Absolutely. If anybody wants to reach out to me, look me up on Facebook, Travis Troy. I'm on LinkedIn. If you are here at the show, come find me. I would love to shake your hand, give you a fist bump. I love feedback on the show. So if there's any feedback that you have, come find me. I'm all open ears. We can't continue to make this show better and greater without, feedback from the people that come to it. And if you're around, come say hi.
He may not want to be in charge, but he is.
Exactly. Hey, I love it. I call it being voluntold.
Yeah. Well, we all have people like that
Right.
tell us to do things. It's just, do you say yes or not? So apparently you have.
Yes.
So
Somebody's got to step up and the deep, like I said before, the deep passion that I really, really have for this industry. It's deep into my core, and it's changed my life, and it's changed a lot of other people's lives that are close to me, and I owe it to the industry to continue that on.
Well, the industry is changing.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of people that have enthusiasm for the industry. And right now, with all the change, you have a choice to be a part of it or not.
Yeah, 100%.
So, you know, I think coming to stuff like this is great.
Yeah.
I'm here. So
exactly.
thank you.
Really appreciate you coming. I think it's awesome. And appreciate you guys having me on the show. And yeah, it's fun.
Cool. Well, Travis Troy, the co-chair. This is the second year.
Second year,
co-chair. So thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Hey, if you're still here, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Automotive Repair News Today. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment, like, share, subscribe to the podcast. That'll help us out a big deal and help grow the show. And you know what? While you're at it, slap on a review too if you feel like this content is helpful for the industry. Don't forget to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Stay connected and be the first to know about new episodes, behind-the-scene content, and more. And until next time, let's make the industry better together.